if you're not doing the same thing. So in answer to your question, I would say yes, I think it'll streamline it. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, if there are no further questions, I will yield the floor. Thank you.
From 46, Mrs. Merritt.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, this bill stands alone on its own merits. It is right, it rights a wrong, it's good for our forward-moving state. It's good for her future growth, and it's good for the children and their ideals.
But I would urge each of you to defeat this bill.
Do you have any earthly idea what the purpose is changing the state flag?
No, sir, none whatsoever. The people in my area in Sumter County, in which I represent, Sumter, Macon, and Sly, they have indicated to me they do not want the flag changed. This would cost the state of Georgia several $1,000s to change this flag.
Well, how will it help the growth of Georgia to change the flag?
It will not help it. It will hurt it, Mr. Lane.
I move that this bill be indefinitely postponed.
Mr. Dickinson, why isn't this being handled as a local bill?
If the gentleman doesn't know, I'd ask him to speak to Mr. Johnson.
I don't know.
True, in Southwest Atlanta, just a few months ago, that you participated in a project to provide
John Mattisella.
Yes.
busing of children is in the interest of better education.
I am not convinced that busing is the best thing for education. I certainly don't want my son to have to get up any earlier than another kid to go to school. But that's not the question before us on this particular resolution. The Georgia legislature need not go on record in defiance or anything in difference to what the United States Supreme Court has stated to be the law of the land.
So, among other things, the House refused to change anything on the flag and brotherhood. The birds and bees weren't forgotten either. The state bird change bill is still awaiting action, but they did vote today to regulate bees. They'll need to be checked for disease every 30 days. From the House chamber, Jim Whipke, WSB News.
The annual fluoridation bill came up in the Senate today, and as usual, it was like pulling teeth to try to get legislation on the subject. Finally, the clean tooth bill was scrubbed, but not before a lengthy debate.
If it's good for municipalities having a population of 5,000 or more, why, in the name of common sense, isn't it good for municipalities having a population of 1,000 or more? Or even Enigma. Fluoridation, yes, it's all right. But let the people who are going to use it, the municipalities that have to install it and have to bear the expense thereof, and the expense may be negligible, let them decide it. That's the only reason. And for that reason only, the size of the municipalities and home rule, I shall have to vote no on this legislation.
I'm in full sympathy with you that this program should be funded, but it should be funded by the Committee on Appropriations and by the budget from the State Board of Health and not by law. Your bill makes it funded by law. Now, we have many programs in the state that are just as important as this, maybe not to the proponents of this legislation, but I have in mind something in our... I beg your pardon?
Senator Yale for a question.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I just wondered if you could just kind of ease up on whether you call it principle or conscience or whatever it is that you have against the approach, and just for one time, you can do anything one time and vote for this piece of legislation today, so that you're in sympathy with it.
Senator, I have never been one to be known as rising above principle in the General Assembly. I hope neither have you, I'm quite sure.